The Western Isles, or Outer Hebrides of Scotland, is a chain of rocky islands that extends for over 200 kilometres from north to south. The islands are separated from the Scottish mainland by over 80 kilometres. The 15 inhabited islands, linked by a network of causeways, ferries and air routes, support a small population of around 26,500, most of whom live in the town of Stornoway. The western side of many of the islands is quite low-lying, and the soft sandy deposits that occur there offer the best agricultural land. A unique landscape comprising plains of wind-blown sand, known as Comhairle, is found along much of the west coast. This has a high conservation value, which is tied to traditional patterns of land use.
The coastline of the Uist is a fantastic place. It's quite unique in many ways. It's a semi-natural habitat, so it's the management by the crofters makes it particularly special for conservation. Most crofters who manage the Comhairle area lose land due to erosion, and for most of them they lose anything from a few metres to a few tens of metres over the winter. For some of them that builds up again over the summer. But the general trend that we've observed here over the years has been of gradual retreat. So they're slowly losing bits of their Comhairle land that's grazed or cultivated. The bigger issue is where there's a particular weakness in the coast and they're in danger of losing a very large area of land.
Climate change poses several challenges to the communities of the Western Isles. There are concerns over sea level change, and in particular large storms. A storm in January 2005 had devastating effects and heightened public concern over the impacts of future climate change.
Naturally, the people of these islands do not want to see their island disappearing, their communities disappearing. So it's a difficult call as to just how we manage erosion within these islands. We would need to protect our coast. Nobody can stop coastal erosion. If you take, for instance, a specific length of coast and were to put rock armour there, that would stop erosion in that area. We have seen evidence of the tide coming around the left and the right of the area that we have created a solid mass on, and eventually that will be eroded. So by putting solid rock or these kind of tidal barriers in place, are we doing the right thing? There is a scheme in Barraigh, a neighbouring island, where they have put down barrels and filled them with stones, and around that planted marram grass to some success. And perhaps that's a way forward for us as communities, looking at these options, sustainable options, rather than the costly rock armour that we will never accomplish throughout our coastlines here.
So at Cllr, where the dune system really is non-existent, or has been, there was a 150-metre stretch of land there that wasn't protected by a dune system. The land's very low-lying, and in 2005, in the big storm, the sea came in quite a long way at that point, and there was a lot of concern locally that this could be repeated, and significant flooding could happen in the land behind that, and there was some roads and houses there that could also have been vulnerable. And then recently we were able to work with SNH and the township. We replenished the storm beach there with an artificial shingle, and then backed that up with a new bund of sand that came from much further back to try and reduce the likelihood of the sea coming in that area and flooding the land behind it.
Since the storm in 2005, between 15 and 20 million pounds has been spent on rebuilding damaged causeways, constructing coastal protection works and flood alleviation schemes. While these were an immediate response to the storm damage, they focused attention on the need to adapt over future years to the threat presented by climate change. The way people adapt will have important implications for the coastal environment and for human life on these low-lying coasts.